I'm Malcolm Jolley for Good Food Revolution with Chef Mark McEwan and Thea Andrews, the two hosts for Top Chef Canada, which is about to premiere on the Food Network. Both of you are seasoned television professionals. What was different about Top Chef? What made you want to get up every day and go to work?
Well, I got to work with you. That was different.
And you. I signed on when I saw you, so
we got to boss people around. We like doing that. Well, you actually get to boss people around every day, so that really wasn't different for you.
We were sort of in like right away, which was great.
Everyone we worked with, I think, was in like. And we got to eat a lot of great food, which you don't get to do on every show.
Do you get to eat what the contestants are making?
Everything.
All right.
Fortunately and unfortunately.
Whether we want to or not.
Yeah.
The eating, I think, made this show that was the toughest thing about doing the show was the eating.
Well, there's a lot of food in the beginning.
There's a lot of food.
When you have 16 people cooking for you, multiple courses. Boy, in the beginning you can just plowing it away.
Yeah, it could be oppressive.
You have a massive appetite. For a woman, massive appetite. Incredible.
He's basically telling you, well, I'm a garbage can.
I thought she would have been much grander.
Grander. I thought she would have been much grander. I definitely was grander after the show than when we started.
But it's pretty intense, right? Like, it was all shot in a fairly short period of time. So, was that wearing? I mean, were people's nerves frayed?
Our nerves weren't.
No,
we were fine.
I think for us it was actually easy. For the chefs, it was very tough. I thought many days about how hard that challenge was for the young chefs. And the ones that stayed in from beginning to end, it was a long 6 weeks, 7 weeks. For them it was 7 weeks because they had to come from wherever, set themselves up in an apartment, climatize, get ready to go, and then cut off from the outside world.
Internet.
Yeah. So they were put through the meat grinder a few times.
And they're all on their own. Like, they're at a spot where they're starting to have, some crew or brigade, but then they're sort of thrown in. And at least from what I saw today in the demonstration, I mean, they did all the chopping, all the prepping.
Yeah, there were no cooks to work with them, so they were up a flagpole on their own, good or bad.
And during the demonstration today, the two of you would occasionally just sort of wander in, ask them questions. I mean, was that sort of the MO during filming? I mean, did you occasionally get a muttered, please, remove yourself comment, or what?
Did they ever ask you to remove yourself, Mark?
No, I had some audiences were more attentive than others. Depending on the stress level as you got into the show, you could tell when they were really under pressure that they were not comfortable in even taking 3 seconds to step up from their work and talk to you. So they would stay head down, chopping, working.
And I stayed out of the kitchen.
Okay.
And it was hard because I could not offer advice.
Right, and so you'd see things, that were, right?
Oh,
and
yeah. Glaring.
And it's so funny on the show, too. And you can see it in your eyes when you're looking at things. You gonna do that like that? Okay.
That's about all you could do.
Thinking.
That's about all you could do. But the problem with that is, at that point in time, they've committed to ingredients. So to go and make a substantive change halfway through, not possible. Really not possible.
And Mark would come out and say, I wouldn't have done it like that.
No.
And sometimes you were surprised.
I wouldn't say quite like that. I would say, so you're doing what with that? Really? Okay. Interesting choice.
Yeah, heads up if there's a season 2 to
choice.
potential contestants. If he says interesting choice, you're in deep trouble. deep trouble.
Is it? But as you say, like, is there anything you can do to fix? When you're, did anyone pull a rabbit out of a hat?
From a screw up to a win?
Yeah.
No. I didn't see that. You could sort of see all the way through. Now there were people that cooked really, really well and then weren't able to complete. Mm-hmm. So they overthought. Did a very good job, couldn't finish the game. Right? So that was hard to watch.
But that was early on. I think people.
But there was a few that took a long time to learn that lesson. Mm-hmm. Happened a couple of times, like bang.
Yeah, that's bad. Yeah. Don't do that either.
No.
Feed us something. We get very cranky when we're not fed.
Right. Of course, it's a long day for you too. I was hungry after watching, these 7 or 6 guys and one girl today cook. They seemed very collegial, though. I mean, it was all very Canadian, polite. They were, sharing their ingredients and stuff. Does that reflect on what happened during the actual show, or was everyone being nice?
All for show. They were knocked down to rag them out. I mean, I think they shared when they could, but when it was really down to the nitty gritty, no.
No,
Not
it
always.
was each for their own. At the end of the day, they were polite about it, and you saw a lot of bantering behind the scenes when they were home or in the cooling off room that we did not see.
Yeah.
That was very, very interesting. I actually did not realize how certain people, the level of discontent they had with each other.
Oh yeah, we saw that after.
Yeah.
And there was sometimes, it helps to have friends on the show because people will help you, but if you're not liked, they'll watch you sink. They will watch you fail.
Well, people that were out for
Competition.
themselves all the time became very obvious, and you could see how the camp sort of divided. That came out quite fast in the show. Your true character will come out quickly when you're under pressure, and that's for sure. It reared its head.
So there may have been a few tears shed here and there.
Oh yeah, there's some tears.
There was some drama.
There's some
Yeah.
tears. I think I saw you tear up a couple of times.
There was a couple of times. Well, it's
my
very
God.
hard for me to eliminate people. I get the crummy job of telling people who has to go home. And that is the worst part of the job. Nobody wants to be that person.
Yeah, someone has to go. It's a contest. But when you get down to the final half dozen, these are very competent people. Anybody could go on any given day based on bad judgment, bad call. And you did feel bad, knowing full well that it could have turned out very differently for just a snap decision.
And it's hard because this is their livelihood. It's, their passion for a lot of them. It's, so much of their life. So that they're going to go home. And when these air, they're going to face the music. They're executive chefs of restaurants. They're owners of restaurants. And when these air, they're going to have to say, to their employees the next day when they walk into, hey, you used to get mad at me for doing this, Well, now I'm not going to take any crap from you anymore. I thought, oh my gosh, it's going to be so hard for them to face the music after this.
At least they got
really
it.
brave.
Yeah. At least across the country,
You have to think of it that way.
only 16 people were chosen. So even if you were first off, there's still credibility to the fact that you were there. But if you got down to that final half dozen, anything could have happened in that final half dozen.
But listen, if you're a contestant on Survivor or The Amazing Race, and you're a doctor and you go and you fail a challenge and you go home, no one back at the office or no one at the hospital is making fun of you, the doctor, like, oh, you couldn't pole vault across a lagoon, you're a terrible doctor. But for these people, the competition is their actual job. This is what they do in real life too.
Yeah.
So they, I think it takes a lot of guts to do this.
So this is reality television.
Yeah, you have to go back to
Hard.
work and they look at you and they say, hey, you choked.
Yeah.
What happened?
What about that burned mac and cheese?
When might we watch all this drama unfold?
High drama, Monday nights, Food Network Canada. 9 o'clock?
9 o'clock.
Meet you there?
9 o'clock. We have a date.